hits when they're not playing. So
Right.
these are some of the things that are going to go into deciding who's going to be this year's NBA MVP. And right now, yeah, I can't see myself giving it to anybody but Russell Westbrook. You know, only because, like, part of it is because I just want to tell everyone, shut up, and I told you so. And I want to hear Kenny Smith say it too, because he's the one that said it at the beginning of the season. At the very before the first tip off, he said, "Don't be surprised if this kid wins the MVP this year." And Shaq and Barkley looked at him like he was a fool. Okay, like if you're like me, you know who the two fools are on that set, right? One of them rhymes with back, and the other one rhymes with Barkley. So those two guys are. Speaking of Steph Curry, you said that shot he made yesterday? That three?
Man, look. Steph Curry, look. Steph Curry is that guy. I mean, what? I really don't even know how to describe the dude, man. Other than he's one of the most phenomenal players to come in the league, maybe the last 10 years.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday Steph Curry took a 3-pointer from the elbow, or from the wing, and before the ball even went through the net, he's turned around already, walking back down court.
Gone.
He didn't even look at
it. Just like the commercial.
The last person I saw do that was Agent Zero, and it was that game where him and Kobe was just going back and forth, scoring points. And right. I think he ended up with something like 56 points or something like that. He was just unconscious. His was different than Steph's. Like, he shot the ball, and as soon as it left his hand, he was already probably at half court before it went in. Like, he didn't even look at the ball off his hands. That's how much in the zone he was. He's another guy who people forget how cold Gilbert Arenas was for a very short span, because then he got caught up with the guns. And then
he got that $100 million. He got that $100 million contract.
Yeah, that happened, and then he had the woman problems, and do you
remember his last season? Do you remember he got served papers right in the in the walkway coming off the court as they were doing the walk-offs?
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what else too? In the world of the NBA, I guess that's gonna do it for the MVP talk. We'll see how that plays out. My guy right now, if I had to give you guys a front runner, be Russell Westbrook, man. Especially if this is the way he's gonna close the season. And a lot of times that's what comes down to.
I'm gonna get you a T-shirt, man. I'm gonna get you a Russell Westbrook T-shirt, boy. You don't win so hard for Russell Westbrook this podcast, boy.
Because I enjoy it.
Oh my God!
Like I enjoy a good product on my television. When I could turn on my television, that's why if I could just implore TNT, ESPN, ABC, stop putting the Lakers on my television. Stop telling me.
They won last night.
Of course. Stop telling me it's LeBron and the Cavaliers versus Swaggy P. Come on, man. Like, this dude go games without even scoring. How you put him on the marquee? Just say.
You forgot about us. We back in his house.
Yeah, he's an idiot. You know who got away? Like, everybody was like, "Oh, those young dudes acting stupid." You know who got away? Carlos Boozer stuck his head in there too. Like,
right in there.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. He did it very quickly, but he like photobombed it real quick and bounced out. So yeah, he's an idiot too. Like, you better than that, Carlos. You make too much money in the league to be acting that way. You got kids and all kind of stuff. Yeah, we're back. Back from what? Do you understand who you play for? The most historic franchise in the league? All right.
Look, but they were playing the Celtics, and it was so funny because those are the two most storied. No, listen.
Yeah,
those are the two most storied franchises, but they're both terrible. Yes. So it's like nobody should have been bragging about anything.
God, it's so absurd. Swaggy P.
We back in his house. Y'all forgot about us.
Yeah, I wish I could. I wish that was a thing.
Dude, no. Kobe's face when Jimmy Kimmel showed him that clip. That's what was priceless.
Yeah.
Was Kobe sitting there and he was like, "So Kobe, would that have happened if you were there?" And it was like Kobe didn't even say anything.
You know what it is? It's the substitute teacher thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mr. Bryan ain't gonna be here for a while. We out here with Mr. Shaw or not Mr. Shaw. He got fired, not him. Mr. Scott, excuse me.
Yeah, we got him, Mr. Scott.
He'll be fired soon too. Don't worry about it. That'll happen in the league as well. That's all Byron Scott good for. It's like, hey, we got this real effed up situation, and we need a coach. Somebody call Byron. he's good at that. He knows he's coming in here only to be fired later. he already knows. Like, no job he's ever had has he come in and somebody was like, yeah, we're going to extend him and make him our coach for the next decade. No.
Because the Pacers got rid of him. The Cavs got rid of him.
Yeah, come in here and coach this bad team, and then when we get on the cusp of being better, we're going to get you out of here. Like, this is what this Cavs team right now, this is what Byron Scott thought he was going to be signing up for. You remember that? Because it was the summer of LeBron. It was that year. It was like, yeah, if we hire Byron Scott, LeBron will definitely come back. No, taking my talents to South Beach to win a couple rings, and then I'll be back.
As soon as he got fired, LeBron like, I'm back.
Right. And came back with a whole new attitude, too. It's like, look, I'm not going to promise y'all nothing. You a lie? What you mean? You went down there and promised no food something, and you ain't from there. What you mean you ain't going to promise us? That's like a dude having like this chick that's been down with him since high school. They've been together 10 years, and he broke up with her and then got with this other chick, and then he done made kids with her and spoiled them and put her in a big old house and brand new cars and the best furs and all that kind of stuff. Then they break up, and he go back to his main chick, his first chick, and was like, I'm back, baby. Now, hope you ain't expecting no cars and no furs or none of that kind of stuff. What? Of course I am. I'm expecting twice what she got.
But look, not only that, but he went back and only technically committed for 1 year.
Yeah,
like,
he did.
1 year. Like,
it's
if LeBron don't want to go back, if he don't want to go back at the end of the season, he don't even have to go back.
Nah, well, yeah, no one's that foolish. No one's that foolish to think this kid is going to do that again. Nah. But what he going to do is he going to break that bank.
He's going to kill him.
Enough of this me not being the highest paid player on the team. Let's run it. Every cent of my money, I need it today. Let's go. Yeah. But
ain't that crazy that LeBron has never been the highest paid player on any other team? That's crazy, right?
That's something that he chose. And some people think that's the cool thing to do or whatever. Like all these people who say, why not take less money so you can have a better team around you? First of all, that ain't my job. Like, if I'm Peyton Manning, my job is to play quarterback. It's somebody else's job to figure out that salary cap situation and all that foolishness and luxury taxes in the NBA and all that. That ain't my job. Yeah, my job is to get as paid as possible, as humanly possible at every turn. Like all these people like, yeah, Peyton took a pay cut. Well, here's the deal. Because Mark Brunell was like, no, I would have told him no. Yeah, you could have told him no. But you know what? You know what happens when people say in the NFL, will you take a pay cut and you say no? This is how it works. You be Peyton Manning. I'm going to be John Elway, Rob. Hey, Peyton. We're going to need to shave about $4 million off that salary. We're going to need you to take a pay cut so we can build a team around you. All right, Rob, your turn. Peyton.
John, I got to be honest with you. I can't do it.
Well, okay. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, the next day on ESPN. Breaking news, the Denver Broncos have just released Peyton Manning. That's how that works. In every situation. You show me a situation where the team has gone to a player and said, we need to get some of your money back, and the player has said no, and the team has said, all right, we're cool with that. No, you're going to be on the ticker on the bottom line the next day because you got cut. You're a salary cap casualty is what they call you. Yeah, so all this Mark
it's like every year we see that with Tom Brady. It's like every year Tom Brady is supposed to get $25 million. Next thing you know, Tom Brady has agreed to a $5 million salary cut.
No. You got to back up on that Tom Brady stuff. See, again, this is the foolishness that people pump into you, but it's not correct. And the one person I heard say, Trey, what's his name? The dude that does the NFL show, Trey Wingo. He said it yesterday, and I was like, thank you. Finally, somebody on ESPN is smart enough to realize that the bull is the bull. Tom Brady has never taken a pay cut. What Tom Brady has done is restructured his money. And in every situation, he's made at least $3 million more than he was supposed to make. He got extra money.
You're right. He restructured.
Right. He got extra money.
Right.
Tom Brady ain't took no pay cut, but then ESPN will pump it to you that way. So all these people feel like Tom Brady's a hero. He gave the Patriots money back so that he can win championships. Tom Brady ain't gave nobody nothing. First of all, Tom Brady got an old lady at home. So he can't walk in and tell his fine supermodel woman, look here, baby, this is what I did. I gave him $3 million back so they can go and give it to somebody else. Hold on. You gave somebody our $3 million so they can pay it to somebody else who don't live here? Yeah, irreconcilable differences immediately. Calling the divorce. She got the divorce attorney on speed dial, cuz somebody like that, shoot. You can't go home and tell your old lady, like, baby, this what happened. Yeah, they cut my salary by $2,000. You can't tell your old lady that. It's going to be a problem. Well, why you do that? Well, working in the newsroom, need a little help. So I gave them back $2,000 so they can hire somebody else.
Now I gave them back more than that.
Well,
they took it.
Right. Say that. Yeah.
They took.
You on that other stuff, like I gave them back, they let me go. Mm-mm. Yeah, I got fired. Ain't nobody let me do nothing. They said you got to go.
Man, that conversation was just so crazy. Like, for real, like, that boy, I don't even want to go into detail about that, but that was just crazy. That's crazy. When you realize that the real boss don't know nothing, that's when it's time to go to Spreaker.com.
I'm going to give you this last 3.5 minutes to, clear your soul. Get it off your chest.
I'm just saying, man, it's just a very unfortunate situation. I feel like, people like, you and me and you, however you say it, I feel like,
your mama and your cousin too?
I feel like we are very skilled workers. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, we put time into what we do. And, it's just a shame that at the end of the day, like, when it all comes down to it, it's just like, I know radio is a business, but it's just kind of crazy, man. Like your situation, and then, what happened to you with what you went into detail about on Monday show.
Yeah. Dwayne Walker, the worst sports radio host in the history of sports radio, Dwayne Walker.
And then I turn around and become a victim, of the same person,
Don't do that. Don't label yourself no victim.
I'm saying, man.
I'm not no victim. I knew what I signed up for when I signed up for it.
No, I'm just saying. When you walk into an office with the HR person, and the first thing they tell you is, because I had a little situation with social media, where I had posts where it was somebody tagged me in the photo, a picture, and it went to my page, and it was Tupac, and it had the F word in it, and somebody at CBS Radio got offended and felt like I was talking about them, and took it to HR. And I had never even met the HR director before, right?
Me neither.
And the first thing that they say to me when I walk in is, "Oh, well, hi, Rob, nice to meet you. Well, we were calling you in because I wanted to fire you today, but." And I'm like, "You want to fire me? This is the first time we have even met. I think the week that you got fired, Mike, was her first week there. Dude." Unbelievable. The first time I meet you, you telling me that you were calling me in to fire me. Like, for real?
Listen, man. Let that be a lesson to you, dude. Be grateful for the young homosexual HR guy that we had before her. Yeah.
I love TJ.
Exactly. See? See? The grass ain't always green on the other side, baby. Yeah.
Hey,
that white lady came in here and was like, what? He did what? Yeah, firing.
TJ went to war, man.
Well, I ain't gonna say that either. I ain't gonna go that far either. Like, give me some middle ground here.
He was fair. He was fair.
He just, look, I'm gonna say this. Basically, he just didn't fire me. Like, TJ went to war for me at all, at any turn. But he didn't fire me. So that's the credit he'll get from me. He's not that guy. All right. It's going to wrap up hour one of the Sports Kings podcast heard on Spreaker.com. Sports Kings Live, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and sportskingsatl@gmail.com.